Hey, welcome to the Bad Samaritan podcast. 49ers, first in NFC.
3 weeks off, baby. It's just crazy.
The playoffs are coming through Santa Clara.
For a week.
How you feeling, bruh? Are you hungover?
From our last cast, yeah, that was a bad night, man. The Ravens, they own my soul since 2012, 2013. But I feel good after this win. We still got some shit to work on, but we got the win. And our good old boys down there in Arizona clutched up the dub to get us the number one.
Man, it was hats off to the Ravens. The Ravens just beat the Dolphins again today. Looks like they're going to be number one in the AFC. We don't got to worry about them until the Super Bowl if we make it and do our part. Yeah. But I think it's been good. I think it's good that we had the diversity. I think today we scrapped out a win. This team needs to get healthy, and today was the best case outcome of locking up the number one seed. We can rest all the guys that need the rest next week. Essentially be like a glorified walkthrough. The Rams can come hot. I don't know. There's this like a whole. I remember hearing a lot about it during like the Peyton Manning years, right? About, hey, do you rest the starters? I think there was a year they were like 11-0 or something, and then the rest of the starters and got swept in the first round. But this team needs the rest. I mean, just straight up, we look gassed. Armstead hasn't played in like a month. Having him fresh at D tackle is gonna be great, so he can have the next week off. He'll have the bye week off. He won't have to see game until mid-January. That's gonna be fantastic.
Yep.
This team plays really well when we get rest. We had that
bye week was crazy. We did good.
Exactly. We had that losing streak to the AFC North. I'm sorry, not this North, but the Browns, the Bengals, and the Vikings. So the overall North was owning us. Actually, we've only lost to the North this season.
The North owns us, I guess.
Yeah. That's nice.
Yeah.
But having the rest is really going to help us out. Everyone's kind of banged up at this time of year.
Everybody.
And
banged up.
And this team responds well after rest. I don't know. I wish I had the stats in front of me. What our record looks like after a bye week. But I know we're going to come out fresh. CMC looked like he was tweaked up. It was nice to see Elijah Mitchell out there today.
Dude, he was looking like prime Elijah Mitchell. He was averaging 5 yards a carry. He was looking like what I thought J.P. Mason would look like when he'd get all those touches. I'm proud of the guy. He's out there. I was kind of scared because I was like, no, Eli's done for the season again. But I think he needs the reps. He needs to just feel good about himself for the playoffs because we're going to need him. As you said, CMC does look tired. Even today, he was like kind of banged up trying to get in. And I was just like, this guy needs to just sit down and just relax,
Yeah, like we don't need you, Christian. Like you don't need you today versus the Redskins in this type of environment after the type of yardage. I think he's already over 2,000 yards.
Yeah, he's 2007.
total this season. I don't even want to see him touch the field next game or whatever. Pre-game rules, right? So let him get a drive in, let him rest. Let's focus on our blocking scheme. Let's rest the line too. This line needs some time to recover and relax. They begin beat down and whooped on. Yep. Trent doesn't even suit up next game if I'm Kyle Shanahan. Or, again, pre-game rules, preseason game rules, a drive or two, tops, let these guys go, let these guys cook. We did our job. That 3-game losing streak this season was tough. And I think today's review is not going to be so much just about this game, which it was whatever game against the
Commanders,
the Washington Red Hogs.
They should have been the Red Hogs, yeah, man. Shout out Bebop, bro.
Yeah, bro. Bebop from Teenage Mutant Turtles would have been a great mascot for the Washington football team. But hats off to them. They're doing whatever they're doing. Ron Rivera from the Bay Area, Monterey, Seaside's in the house.
Cowboy.
But you know what, man? It's been a great season. It's been crazy. It's been enjoyable. Losing sucks like last week and during that stretch during Halloween and early November. But you know what? A year in review, it's been a great season for the 49ers. We have an offense that can score, and when we don't beat ourselves, I think we're unstoppable.
Yep. Yeah, we're our biggest kryptonite.
Exactly. So the NFC ahead of us right now. I think with Dallas's gift from the refs last night, they're the first in the NFC East. The Eagles, I think, are now our fifth, and I think the Lions are now third. So, potentially, if things go the way they are, I think right now both the Rams and the Seahawks are in. I think in addition to currently the Bucks.
I think the Saints or the Bucks are going to duke it out.
Yeah, we'll have to look into how that Saint Bucks game ended. 'Cause I think the winner of that, I think whoever wins the South is in, right?
Yeah.
And I don't think anyone from the South is coming in that second wild card spot because they're both kind of buns. But you know, it's either way. You know, those kind of games, it's gonna be what? So it'd be like the South versus maybe the Rams or the Seahawks. So
Either the South. Actually, it would be the South versus the Cowboys. No. Oh no, because
no, the low would be the lowest
it would be
seed.
the lowest seed.
So
Yeah.
so it could be yeah, it would have been the Cowboys had the Cowboys not won the East. So it would be the Ravens versus the South. I'm sorry. The Eagles versus the South.
Yeah.
Bird teams.
And the Lions as well.
Right, and then the Lions would get
Whoever's
would
in
get
the
the
West.
Rams or the Seahawks.
Yeah. Hopefully it's the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks we gotta win.
I don't want to see the Seahawks, man. I don't want to see the NFC. Oh
I'd
man.
rather see the Seahawks than the Rams.
Yeah,
to be honest. the Rams looking kind of hot.
Yeah. And the Lions are too aggressive for my liking. That team is gonna come. That team's gonna go for it on fourth all game long.
That Dan Campbell had that amazing analogy of like when he gets knocked down, he's gonna come back and take a bite of your kneecaps. This is exactly how that team is playing.
Yeah,
that team's playing like, oh, we're gonna be down, but
I definitely didn't agree with his play call last night in the second quarter to go for it on fourth down when he could have taken the 3 points. You would have been down 7-6. But I mean, his philosophy is to go for it, be aggressive. His team has that mentality. So hey, hats off to him. They were in the game at the end. They should have won the game, and the refs stole it from him. So I was wrong. Dan Campbell was right. But the NFL,
won the game, bro.
Yeah, he did win the game.
Yeah.
The guy checked eligible.
The guy checked eligible.
Yeah, that's tough.
Actually, both linemen checked eligible.
You know, the whole thing about the NFL being scripted and stuff, I think there might be some truth to it. The way honestly, the way it's looking like right now, I would not be surprised if it's Cowboys Bills in the Super Bowl.
Actually, yeah.
I would not be surprised because it looks like Dallas is undefeated at home this season. They have like a 16 or 17 game win streak. The Bills are getting hot, and the Cowboys make it back to the Super Bowl, which is a win in itself for Dallas, right? They don't have to win it because they already have the pedigree.
Yeah.
But then Josh Allen having the crazy up and down season this season, being snubbed for MVP and all this kind of stuff, coming out of the AFC and winning a Super Bowl, the first Super Bowl for the Bills. Because I'm pretty sure in those 4 falls of Buffalo, it was the Cowboys that took them.
All 4 times?
One of them at least. Yeah.
Yeah, it was at least one.
Yeah, so I think that would be like a preview that no one would see. It'd be big because Dallas can carry the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I think it's probably going to be. I'm hoping for Bills Niners or even a Browns Niners.
I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that Ravens team again.
It's going to be the Ravens though.
I don't want to see.
They're going to come at us and they might own us again.
They're running really hot at the perfect time.
Yeah.
Like they're who we were 3 weeks ago. You know.
Yeah.
And I was like, dang.
You know what? Anyone can get though. We did move the ball in that team.
Yeah,
we are the number 1 seed in the NFC. I mean, like, you know, we get a couple weeks to really sit back and scheme for all these different teams. We're going to get healthy, which I'm looking forward to. But man, what do you looking back on this season? What are you most surprised by, and what were you disappointed by?
I was most surprised by the rise and the stepping out of Deebo Samuel. I think this was the year a lot of people, even Nick Bosa touched on it, where he was, you know, he's saying that he's playing his contract, saying that this is the type of player we need. And I haven't had this kind of feeling towards a player of the 49ers, I think, in my life, you know. Every good team has kind of the guy where it's, you know, Emmitt Smith or like Jay Jetto's, like the ball is going to him to win the game. And Deebo had, like, he kind of got that by default when we first got him. And, you know, he's like the rookie, he's the good guy. And he hasn't really stood out till this year. You know, calling the entire Eagles like organization trash and then dropping 3 touchdowns on them is a big thing to do. And I'm not saying he carries the Niners, but I'm saying, oh, this guy is like, he is a clutch player, and he's what surprised me the most of like who was gonna step out. I thought he was gonna have a mediocre or like a B- year compared to last year because it wasn't that great. He had like a C average year last year, but I give him an A this year. He deserves an A. What I'm most disappointed by is this defensive line progress, or like the production, sorry. Steve Wilkes has not rubbed me the right way through the entire season. You know, we like to give him the outs of, you know, he's got to adapt, he's building his team. But this is potentially the best roster or the best defensive line that the 49ers in franchise history. You know, this probably could battle Bryant Young and all these other guys with the guys we have on there. First rounders, big contracts on the line, and it's not doing what it's done in the past. You know, it's not doing what it did with Saleh. It's not doing what it did with D'Amico. It's not even doing the Justin Smith, Alden Smith kind of deal. Like it's all right. It's mad all right, and that's my biggest disappointment.
Those are good ones, man. I agree with you with Debo. Debo, I was trying to figure out who he is. You know, I think he had that season where we lost to the Rams, and I think that was probably his best season as a human. He was like wheeling us and using up all his trucker to get us there, and so I'm always gonna love him for that. And to what you're saying, he's just not really like a vocal guy in a sense. You know, I think like Fred's pretty vocal and enunciates. I think he's more like let's just play show.
George is kind of vocal, you know.
Yeah, and Debo, like man, like
he's about that
with
business.
his homies though. Like I can tell that Debo talks a lot of smack, and I think like we're talking about with the Eagles and like see him on K Adams and stuff and all this kind of stuff, and I'm just like, oh, like no, Debo's a dog, bro. Like he also like he just needs to kind of like he's a little introverted, you know. Like
yeah, he's a little,
all receiving corps is all a little introverted, but they're nasty.
But they're disgusting.
Like this is probably one of the best receiving corps that we've had in so long.
Yep.
You know,
and
we saw that stats today. That's the first time that we had two United receivers go for over 1,000 yards since Terrell Owens and Jerry Rice. We've had some.
Bro.
That's in 1998. We've had some solid receiving core in between those.
I was surprised Vernon and Bolden or Vernon and Crabtree didn't.
Yeah. Like there were some interesting plays there. But Deebo Samuel this season, he's an All-Pro. He's his like ownership of the Eagles and his consistency since last season to this season. Like he stood on business. He told them they were trash. They are trash. The entire team said that we put the blueprint out them. Every team that listened, I mean, the 3-12 Cardinals went into their house and dropped 34 or 35 on them. Okay? So they are who we said we were.
Exactly.
And ever since we destroyed them in their home,
everybody's been going for
everybody's been taking the cheeks.
Yep.
Okay? So shout out to Debo. I gave that to Debo. That was a very spirited. That's something that was like, when you lose to teams in the playoffs like that, man, like the thing that's been tough about being a fan in the last 7-8 years, it's like the losing has been weird. Like I'm not even mad about the Rams beating us in the NFC Championship game because we owned them. Yeah, it was almost just like, bro, if Jaquiski Tartt doesn't drop the pick, we win the ring. We win the ring, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like shoulda, coulda, woulda, whatever. Oh, you got, but I was like, bro, like straight up, like we've owned that team for like 4 seasons. And it's just like, hey, you know what? It's football. We lost. We lost the game because of what we were saying. Kyle doesn't like to invest in a right tackle and a right guard, and his offensive line isn't set up to pass block.
Yep.
But like that loss, whatever, like it doesn't haunt me, you know. Mm-hmm. And then when I think about last season's loss to Philly, like I'm not mad at Philly, bro. Like we didn't have a quarterback. Like, as soon as Brock was out, bro, I was just like,
this game's done.
I was like, man, in my heart, I knew it was over. And I saw CMC score that touchdown when Jawan kept him up, and it was like. That was us and like that was the spirit of us. Like
that was
a lot
the
of
spirit
heart.
Of us, yeah.
Just keep up, like don't give up. But it's like, bro, in this game, these teams are good. You know, like you can't come in here without a quarterback.
Yeah.
So it's like it's been weird playoff kind of losses. Where it's just kind of like, dang. And then the Chiefs thing, I was just kind of like, I feel
we beat ourselves again.
We if they're not gonna call holding on the best like pass rushing defensive line, then we're not gonna win. You know what I'm saying?
But we also didn't play the best offense we played.
Yeah, we were rushing 6 yards a carry in that game, right?
Yeah.
And so it's just like, oh man, like I can't even be super mad at the Chiefs because like no, we went away from our own identity.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, we stopped being.
And so I'm just kind of like, man, and then like honestly, even with the Harbaugh choke, like Harbaugh choked that shit, bro.
He choked it
to the ball. Like, bro, you can't come out and get dog walked in the first half in the Super Bowl.
And then Vegas calls get you back in.
You get back in and Vegas like hooks us up, and then there's multiple drives in there where Ray Lewis and Eddie Reed are like gassed, and Harbaugh's calling timeouts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? 3 phases of Crabtree. Like, Harbaugh choked that. You know what I'm saying? That's bad coaching, and that's why the big brother won. Shout out to the big brothers. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, like, now, like, this whole playoff thing, like, this whole season to me, man, like, has been, like...
It means nothing.
It's been weird, bro. I'm just kind of like, playoffs, please. Yeah. I know we're going to be in the playoffs. Can we just get the playoffs going? We have friends and stuff trying to, you guys lost with the Ravens, this week and that. I was like, bro,
none of this matters.
I don't care about the regular season, bro.
Yeah,
it's like I feel like how I feel about the Lakers. Like, I'm from Los Angeles. Like, I'm a Laker fan. And sometimes you just kind of coast to the regular season, and the season doesn't really start until like after Christmas, right? And football to me is the same way now in the last years under Shanahan. It's like football doesn't really start until after Christmas. And the reality is that it's after Christmas today. Today is New Year's Eve, and the 49ers are the number 1 seed in the NFC playoffs. And so to answer the questions I just asked you, I am most surprised by Brock Purdy.
Yep.
I think he
Good job. Yeah.
he just kept going off of where he just picked up from last year.
Which is
You guys
impressive
forget
to do.
he had elbow surgery. He's still a young cat in terms of like the number of games he played in this
Second-year
league.
guy, man.
I mean, he needs space. Like, man, everyone's so like immediately results oriented. Like, not just in the field, but like in every sport, in every company, in every job. It's like, oh, if you don't come in and if you're not the top guy immediately, like you're trash. And I'm like, bro, this guy went undrafted. Nobody thought he could do anything. Like, it's not just a Kyle Shanahan system. Kyle's been here for 7 or 8 years. We've gone through maybe like 5, 6 quarterbacks, and it's taken a while to find the guy that can make the reads, overcome his offensive line issues, hit receivers in stride, and set franchise passing single season records.
Yep.
Brock Purdy today, right, with 1 game still left in the season, is the top passing leader for the San Francisco 49ers, a franchise that has had players like Steve Young, Joe Montana, Jeff Garcia, like passers.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, the extra game. I was like, bro, like we have a game left to play, and he's already number 1.
Yeah.
And he's an undrafted guy.
Well, he's
He's not even making. I'm sorry. Yes, he's the last guy.
He's the last.
He's the
guy.
last man standing, bro.
Yes.
He's the guy when you were playing kickball and you were like, oh, I'll take you. He's the guy that nobody wanted, that nobody thought could kick or round the bases or do anything. He had no homies on the team. Like, he's the last dude that was picked.
Yeah.
And my man set the single pass and I love how he's like, maybe it's his faith. I don't know what it is, but his whole demeanor and his leadership and his accountability, like, I love all of that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't see videos of Brock Purdy in the strip club after a loss to the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, no.
You know what I'm saying? He's in the lab. He's trying to get better. He's
zoned in.
Yeah, he's paying attention, bro. He's trying to quarterback. I think there was a lot of talk back when we had Kaepernick about like, no, you have to like work at the job of quarterback, and Brock Purdy's doing that.
Yeah.
And so I'm really surprised. I'm not surprised because I didn't say it came out of nowhere, but I'm so surprised that there weren't more games like that Ravens game. You know what I'm saying? That the losses that we had to the Browns and the Vikings and the Bengals, like they weren't discussed. Like they weren't Daniel Jones on the Giants.
Yeah,
Daniel Jones, you're like, dang, you paid that guy? That guy's buns.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we're hyped about Tyrod Taylor and Vinny because Daniel Jones is unimpressive.
He's worse than those guys.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad.
And Brock Purdy has not shown me anything to make me lose faith in him. He's had bad games. I was like, bro, this is a 4-quarter season, you know? And right now we're in the 4th quarter now of the season. You know what I'm saying? We're low key about to start the 2nd quarter of the second quarter of the 4th quarter of the season.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We hit the 10-minute mark.
Yeah. And so it's like, okay, hey, that 1st quarter, which is that regular season, okay, we're in the middle of the 2nd. Okay, now we got our bye, so that's gonna take us to the half. And then will we get into this like last couple sessions of divisional and then the NFC? It's like, okay, this is where we're gonna be at.
Yep.
Right? A few more games to the championship.
And
Brock Purdy hasn't done anything to make me feel like we can't win it all.
Today was a great bounce back game for him against the Commanders. He threw those 5 picks, which I only give him maybe 1 or 2. That first pick was pretty bad. It was a bad read, but quarterbacks can make bad reads,
and those guys get paid too.
Those guys get paid bank, right?
I mean,
and then
it doesn't excuse it, but I'm like, these guys are great.
Yeah. He got those tip passes that were kind of on George and kind of on these receivers that weren't catching the ball. And I'm like, all right, whatever. We were 5 picks down. Like, they're almost not on him. But guess what? He came back today, and he dotted these guys up.
Yeah.
He scrambled out of the park.
We do have to worry about the thing that you say sometimes about beating great defenses. And he has struggled against great defenses.
Yeah, he has. Yeah.
Right? The Browns is a great defense. These Ravens teams are a great defense.
And I don't even think it's just Brock Purdy. I also think
the Kyle Shanahan offense.
Like, the reason why I like Brock Purdy and why he's good is because Kyle Shanahan is finally coalesced with a quarterback that can able to do his thing.
Correct.
And when Kyle Shanahan's problem is he gets in way over his head when he goes against these defenses.
Yeah.
A la the Chiefs when they had the nice defense, when the Rams, the Browns this year, like all these good defenses, he gets flustered and tries to beat them in a way that no one's ever beat them, or that the Niners haven't won by doing.
Yeah, Kyle didn't do what I was wanting him to do with Trey. I was like, hey, do the Jimmy G playbook,
Yes.
and then just execute it perfectly.
Yes.
And Kyle Shanahan's like doing something else now, and I'm like, Kyle, no.
And that to me isn't good coaching.
Yeah, it's like, bro, no, like
that's Wilkes. That's Wilkes' problem as well.
Yeah. So then biggest surprise to me is the
Purdy.
consistency and the excellence that has been Brock Purdy.
Yep,
it's been excellent, bro.
Yeah,
it has.
It has. It's been. He has had an A- year. It's unquestionable.
I give it an A+, bro, for where he's at.
Yeah.
He lost what 4 games?
4
this
games,
season?
and not bad. No.
And did we lose the Browns because of him?
No, no, we could have won the Browns game. We
Exactly.
lost the Browns because
in the Vikings game, he had a concussion. The Bengals, maybe you say it's on. The Bengals and the Ravens could be on.
But that was our defense. I put the Bengals on our defense. We can't stop the run.
The run
against
no one's
Joe
blocking.
Mixon.
No one's Mixon.
No one's gonna get Mixon.
Yeah,
like,
man, that shot of Bosa just like, hey, where's my weak side backer?
Where's my weak side backer? And no one's there. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, and I think biggest disappointment to me, I was also gonna say the defense. I think you covered it well, but I'm gonna say the offensive line.
Okay.
The offensive line, just because I knew this was gonna be a problem in August, man.
Yeah,
I knew it was in. I saw
July
Feliciano. When I saw, forget this offseason, we had Trey Lance on the roster still.
Yeah.
Okay. And we were talking about why does TDP and this offensive line and Trey Lance, like, why is this look terrible? And honestly, like, I'm seeing the same issues that I saw in that preseason game versus the Raiders that I'm seeing now. And we have a line that just cannot block certain guys.
No.
They're
not
it's
enough.
coming back to harness. This offseason, man, the first 3 picks, just give me tackles. Give me tackles, give me guards. We're going to find guys. We have to find
huge
them.
guys. I want humongous people.
Yes, I want guys that are walls, that are monuments,
I don't
that
need
are
small
that are boulders of men.
guards anymore.
I need huge war hogs.
Yeah.
I need Upati and Anthony Davis in the first teens, okay? Because that's what's hurting this team right now.
I think,
and I don't think we need skill position. I
do
don't even care about corner or anything anymore. Like, nothing is upsetting me more right now than an offensive line play. Because when the championship football games start, and you cannot just run over people, and you're being forced to drop back into fucking 5 and 7 step drops, our guards are gonna give up the buns.
And you know who that is? I think this next year is the year that you do not let Kyle Shanahan draft almost anyone, and you let John Lynch and the scouting team pick their guys, because Kyle Shanahan has busted every single schematic pick that he has tried to get, and they just don't work on our team. They don't work in the NFL.
Like, I'll give the caveat of,
no, none
for
of them
example,
work.
the Brunskills or the McKivitz. These aren't terrible players, but if you want to be a Super Bowl caliber team,
You get the Cowboys O-line.
you need some studs on that line,
Yes.
right?
You get Zach
Like,
Martin.
for example, to go after Colt McKivitz in replacing of Mike McGlinchey, that was the right move.
Yeah, good job.
The drop off between Mike McGlinchey and Colt McKivitz is not that bad. It's not that big of a drop.
Yeah.
So I understand and I totally support that decision,
the
right?
drop off from Spencer Buford from Laken Tomlinson
Exactly.
is terrible.
Well, technically, Lincoln Tomlinson is
Banks.
Banks, and Banks
Is all right.
and I would say that trade is good, is decent too. But they didn't really have a plan in place for Staley.
Nope.
We almost lost. You guys forget we almost lost Trent Williams to the Chiefs that offseason.
Alex
The
Mack?
center guy, Alex Mack, broke his leg.
Yeah,
Right?
we lost William Richburg the year before Alex Mack, which
Yes.
he was really decent. He was really good.
Yes.
Then we had Alex Mack, where he was on his way out anyways
Exactly.
because he was going to
Exactly.
retire.
We're gonna
And then after that, no center. We
Yes.
have Jake Brendel. I know his
Yes.
name is Brendel, but
Yes.
Jake Brendel. Bro.
That's what they're calling
That's
on
what
Titans cast.
they're.
I'm with it, bro.
Yeah, Jake Brendel, and I'm not trying to hate on Jake Brendel. You know,
No,
like,
me either. Me
he's
either.
like
but it's like,
he is who he is.
but you have to make some investments because to me, it's like if you know that Laken Tomlinson's a guy, keep him. You draft Banks, you put him at right guard, and that already
It's better than Feliciano.
Trent Williams, Tomlinson, our center, Banks, and McKivitz. That's already a
That's
better
already
line.
That's already
It's a more consistent
grade.
line.
That's a great hire.
Because sometimes offensive lines, they just need to coalesce and have games together.
Yeah.
And we have too many games where we're putting too many rotations in.
Yep.
And it's like and then that way when you have a Trent that goes out or gets kind of springed up or whatever, I think Trent almost missed like 4 games this season.
Yeah. 4 or
Right?
5.
And so it's like it's like in the drop off between when he's in and when he's not, like that's why we lost the Browns game. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like that to me has just been the most disappointing thing because I knew it was gonna happen. You know, I think like
Yeah.
when I see like I think about boxing, right? You see like great fighters or whatever. It's the punches you don't see coming. Like no, this is the punch I see coming, and I know we can't block it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it just really hurts my heart and my soul
We can't.
because now more than ever in this league, the best athletes are on the defensive line.
Yep.
And they're going to expose us.
Yeah.
Like the way that you saw the Ravens expose us.
Yeah, the Ravens. I didn't even understand how good their defensive line was until I saw Clowney out there.
Yeah.
Until I saw those
Yep.
backers, and I was like, oh.
Yep.
Our line is just not made to do that. And then
No,
I
it's
look at the
not.
Cowboys, and then I'm like, oh,
They can do it.
they can do it. Like
Yeah.
I saw them go
They're
against
getting
the
a little
Lions.
older, but they can still do it. They have it in them.
Yeah, they
You know
were
what I'm saying?
blocking. I mean, Aiden Hutchinson still. I think he's going to be Defensive Player of the Year. But Aiden Hutchinson had a day. But in the when they were pressed against the back, their own end zone, they blocked great.
Yeah.
Dak
yeah.
got
They
out
gave
scrambled.
they gave
threw a
Dak
90
they gave Dak some plays, and if you watch the tape
Yeah.
against the Ravens, there was plays as soon as the ball snapped, the Ravens are already in his lap.
And that's
in Brock Purdy's lap.
my problem with the Niners is that the offensive line or even just the offense sometimes doesn't give Purdy the plays. And
Right,
Purdy has
right.
to roll out, do some
No,
crazy
100%.
cross-body stuff.
100%.
And you're just like,
This is what I was saying in that Chiefs Tampa Bay Super Bowl. They're like, "Oh, look at Mahomes." I was like, "This is on Andy and Mahomes. Stop dropping back and passing.
Yeah,
Run the ball.
run the ball.
Your offensive line cannot block these Buccaneers team.
Nope.
And maybe you can't run it on because of Vita Vea, but if you have already given up on the run, you've given up this game because you are not going to drop back and pass with your line being this level of butt.
yeah, it was really butt.
And that's what we were doing last game.
Yep.
It's like if you have a bad offensive line, or you have an offensive line like ours that's smaller, undersized, because it's cheaper, and they do have some great run blocking ability, right? Because that's
'Cause it
Kyle's
can get lower.
philosophy.
Yeah.
Then you have to run the ball. Then
Yeah.
you have to earn the right to
You
pass.
have to run 200 yards that game.
You have to earn, and if you cannot do that, then you've already lost.
Yeah.
You philosophically, it's like, I mean, again with my Lakers comp, it's like a couple seasons ago we had that old ass team with Trevor Ariza and like I think Dwight was still on there, like a
Yeah.
bunch of old heads, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, what are we doing?" And like LeBron's talking like he knew something we didn't. I'm like, bro, like LeBron needs young shooters on the outside to keep the ball moving.
That's it.
That's what he needs so that we can win.
Yep.
Right. So as soon as that Lakers team put those old heads in that roster, I knew that we weren't doing anything that season.
Yep.
You can tell, bro. Like in college football, it's not the coaches, it's how the recruiting draft class go. Urban Meyer wasn't beating Jim Harbaugh because he's a better coach. He was beating him because he had a decade head start in recruiting class and getting top talent.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Getting kids,
now that
huge kids
now
that
that,
want to go play.
that Jim has had his chance to like get in people's homes and have kids come in and come out here. He's got some dogs on the line and he's built the team the way in his image on both sides of the line.
His too.
Then he's destroying these guys.
Yeah, he is.
He's destroying them even when he's not coaching because he's built a team that knows how to win games.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the team that the 49ers have is not built to come from behind.
Nope.
He's like 0-38 or something.
Yeah. He's bad.
When he's trailing in the fourth quarter. And overall, the league stats are pretty low, but to be 0-38,
Yeah, that's actually kind of true. I've never seen a fourth quarter comeback from the Niners.
because it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist.
Kyle Shanahan's Niners. Yeah, it doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And I think the Ravens have a similar stat this season where they struggle from behind. So again, look, whoever gets the fast start, it's going to be a big thing. So enough on that. But the offensive line, the defense has not been great, like you mentioned. Purdy and Debo have been highlights. It kind of just shows what we're saying, that like the talent on the offensive line is the identity of the Niners this season, and we're gonna go as far as they're able to execute.
Yeah, and that makes me feel bad, because I mean I'm not saying our guys are great, but there's just better players out there. There's Lamar Jackson out there. There's more consistent skill and superstar players out there that could really just take over games much more than we could. I know it's kind of crazy. I'm a little disappointed in Christian McCaffrey, bro.
You did not like him, man.
I don't like Christian McCaffrey for some reason. I think Christian McCaffrey is a garbage time kind of running back, or like a player. Like he's kind of who Christian McCaffrey reminds me of? Russell Westbrook. Dropping triple doubles and stuff. But like, is he the reason why you get ships? Not really.
It's what we were saying, man. I think the offense should have, and maybe it's Elijah Mitchell's fault for getting hurt, or not his fault,
we ran him into the ground.
But it's like I think we're missing the McDaniels Bobby Turner kind of combo in the run game where Kyle was like, you guys do what you want with the backs. And they always had a healthy rotation of
Debo.
Breida, Debo, Moser, Wilson,
Yeah.
like that 4 guys in rotation. And Kyle in the run game, I can tell that he just gets a little stale.
Super stale.
And I think it's showing with CMC. It could be that the drop off with these other guys in terms of pass blocking is really big.
There's no way.
And so maybe
Sure.
he's trying to keep Brock safe because his line is terrible, right?
I don't believe it. Okay.
I'm just trying to think about what could be the reason why we're in this situation.
Why we don't
because
get
I
Jordan
think
Mason inside the 5?
Yeah, man. Like I think on that stretch run with CMC, they got bumped, and I think we ended up turning over on downs.
Yeah, we got.
I'm like, bro, JP Mason. Can I see a pistol or a jumbo backfield package with Kittle and Warner? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
or Juice. Like we can't go
Well, yeah,
I form with JP.
yeah.
And I'm like,
put Juice and Kittle in the back and put Warner out there to block at the tight end position.
and we did it with Elijah, and he got penetration.
He slipped, yeah.
He got more penetration because he's not light in the ass.
Right.
But I'm like, you have the bruiser back, the bruiser
do.
back who's fast.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, can we
use him?
We know what Jordan Mason can do in the red zone. He's 100% every time he's in the red zone.
Straight up.
Like, why are we not? We're inside the 4 to 5.
The only time he didn't score and he was in the red zone is because he had run it 90 yards.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like last season, he ran it for like 90 yards and then he fell
short
at the 1 or 2.
Yeah, he fell short. But this guy's 100% when he gets the red zone in front of him. Can we just give him the ball?
He was dealing with the illness, I think, last week is what they had him under.
Sure.
But I'm like, bro, like the scheme is just not calling for him, and I think it's wearing on CMC.
Yeah.
And I think CMC is a great player. I don't know if you remember, but it was kind of like having
a weird fit.
It's kind of how the Giants used to have like Bradshaw, Ward, and I forgot what they're called, but they call that backfield like Earth, Wind, and Fire. And they kind of had like receiving. No, that's the Steelers. I was talking about the Giants, the New York Giants.
Oh,
they had that when Eli had Manningham and those cats.
And Brandon Jennings.
Yeah. But they had some good They had some good backs, and the rotation was a lot better. And so what I'm getting at is like I think we just got to get back to that. Use Debo a little bit. Just be a little bit more creative.
Yeah, we used Debo in the red zone today. He got a touchdown, easy
Yeah.
money. And I was like, hey, how come we can't just keep doing things like this? Like, why am I not seeing Ayuk get a jet sweep anymore?
I'm curious what Kyle's gonna do with dang near 3 weeks of off time. I'm expecting a different offense.
I hope so.
I'm expecting him to really take a look at what's been working, what hasn't been working, where we've been getting God. This team is lucky like Batman. If we give us prep time, we do some things.
Yeah.
So
my issue with Kyle is that this season's offense has just been solely reliant on the explosives, and we have not been building. Not been building to it, and so I need to see.
I haven't seen like 1 6-minute drive.
Yeah, not one 8. Dude, the only thing I loved about the Jimmy Garoppolo offense was he threw it short, he got good completions, and then we ran the ball efficiently.
There's something so beautiful about being able to control the clock.
Yeah, and that's how you win games.
Yeah.
That's how you win.
Yep.
Like that's how if the Lions could understand how to use Jahmyr Gibbs better, they could have won that game in the third quarter.
Yep.
And you're like, what do you guys?
The Lions are just too aggressive.
Yeah, they
don't have the understanding of like the balance of the complementary football.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
I just need us to be able to control the clock, control the actual game. I want to see game manager Purdy. Like people call him a game manager, and
but he doesn't.
I don't understand what they're talking about.
He throws too many bombs.
He throws so many bombs, and I'm like, I need him to. I want him to be Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah, I want him to dink and dunk.
Yeah, that's all I want, and I need to run 4
yards. I want a
consistent
4. Yeah, exactly.
That's all I want.
I want us to matriculate down the field.
Yes. And I'm like,
I want us to be very boring and slow and consistent and precise, and just keep it moving. Keep it moving.
And if we can if we can drop 30 on teams doing that.
I'm gonna look up those stats in this like bye week time. I'm gonna look up the stats of like what the average play duration has been for the 49ers on scoring drives.
I would say, I don't know,
under 6 plays.
6 plays? Oh my god!
On our scoring drives.
On our scoring drives?
I'm curious what the average play number
I would say
per
8.
scoring drive is.
I would say 8 plays.
10. You think it's north of 6?
Yeah, north of 6. I'll go over on the 6. That's crazy. 6 plays. That means we're all explosive.
I'm just saying. Think about some of our big touchdowns.
Yeah, you might be right. I don't know. This team needs to get their stuff together. This defense needs to actually like wake up in this playoffs if we want to win. Just because after I saw what Lamar Jackson was doing and what Kyler Murray was doing on us, I was like, what? I don't think we could stop a lot of these teams. I don't. Nobody in the NFC really bothers me except for the Cowboys. The Cowboys have like a they do what I want. They have a matriculating offense, and then out of nowhere, the explosive. You know.
Yep.
Kyle likes to like pack the hole with gunpowder and just see if it blows up really good or not. And you're like, hey, like, how about we just like kind of have little tiny like little gains. I think it's just again a Kyle Shanahan philosophy thing. This guy just kind of wants to win the way he wants to. He's kind of stubborn. I also think we should look on the stats of what our record is when Papa Mike is at the games. You know, when Papa Mike's at the games, Kyle stops being Kyle. You know, Kyle stops doing that dumb.
He plays old school.
He plays old school, and I'm like, hey,
for his daddy.
I need to play. I need you to. If you're gonna play like that, because Daddy's there, I need Daddy to be there every game. Because that's why I see us winning. That's how I see us being the Ravens. That's why I see us being these Cowboys or whoever's gonna be in the chip with us. Like, we gotta win old school. We can't rely on being a front running team because that means we lose in the first half and the game's basically done. But you're getting those stats for the second half?
Nah, I'm gonna look into. I'm making a list. What are you thinking about next week with the Rams? What are we doing?
We're resting, bro. I want to see Brock Purdy in their first drive, maybe first 2 drives, and I want to see Sam Darnold throw some dots. Jordan Mason, dropping 100 yards and a touchdown. That was Elijah Mitchell today. Dropped 100 yards, touchdown. That's what I want to see JP do.
That was 100 yards today?
Yep, he rushed 100 yards. He did great.
I love it.
Yep, I love it. What do you want to see?
I want to see Sam Darnold, and I want to see the backups get some minutes in there. I want to do some stuff on special teams.
Can we get a 3-sack game?
I want to see special teams.
Can we get some sacks?
That'd be nice.
Why
I want special teams.
Hey,
I want to see Ronnie Bell change his number from 10 to anything else, and I want to see some returns. I want to see some play on special teams. I feel like this team, if they could get us something going in the special teams in the playoffs,
we got a little English.
I think that makes us a champion. I think a lot of the Ravens are really great special teams.
Yep.
John Harbaugh's a special teams coach. I think that's a missed area. You saw a lot of special teams magic with the Lions. So either be very fundamentally sound special teams, or give me a little, do something out there for the tape.
We kind of got it with a couple weeks ago when Mitch ran for that.
But that was on him. He called his own number.
Yeah, we need more of that.
I want Kyle just to put things on tape to make people wonder what the F are the Niners doing.
Yeah.
I want us to do that. So I want us to do this game doesn't matter, right? Nope. So all we need to do is create more opportunities for them to do more like game film studying on things that we're probably never going to do. So I want to see fake punts. I want to see fake field goals. I want to see fake kicks. I want to see onside kicks.
Yeah.
I want to see everything. Throw everything at it because this game does not matter.
Nope.
All that matters is that we make people work hard to scheme against us.
And I want to stay healthy.
Yeah, let's stay healthy.
I want all of our stars. I don't even want them to suit up. I want them in hoodies. I want Ayuk. I want Debo.
I'm down for that.
I want them in those nice.
But let them. I'm sure they got to get game checks and stuff like that if they start.
Put them in the beanies, bro.
Just make sure that make sure they got to do what they got to do to get their numbers. But this is the Bad Samaritan podcast. This has been 2023. These have been your number one NFC 49ers. We will see you all in the new year.
Deuces.